live with Justin Dunk, Wes Cates, and Randy Ambrosie joins us. You got to follow Darian Durant and Wade Miller. It's been a big hour.
It's been a big hour. Now I see a Bob Poley jersey out in the credits, and that's a big. That for me, that's a really big deal. Bob and I were teammates. And
That's awesome. Nice spot.
Yeah, and it's a great looking group.
Polecat, he's a beauty. I love Poley.
Yeah.
It's a great atmosphere in here, and it looked like, you can speak to this more so, a great atmosphere out in Victoria for Touchdown Pacific. I know you just came from there. What was it like?
Yeah, you know what, the entire time we were there, the city of Victoria was so excited to have a CFL game on, in their city. The province was very supportive. The mayor was phenomenal. She has been a great supporter and was a great supporter. We got a chance to spend time with members of the Canadian Forces, which was it's very special. But the atmosphere yesterday was just phenomenal. And everyone, that place, you couldn't have fit another human being in there. And the energy was off the charts. And I think it showed in the way BC played. As I expect, it'll show in the way the Riders will play today in front of all these great fans.
Indeed. Randy Ambrosie's segment is Thoughts with JD, brought to you by Redvers Agricultural Supply, your Kubota, versatile and Degelman dealer in Redvers. Visit redversag.ca. You were out watching the BC Lions. You just got a fan asking a question about this. So much talk about marketing money in the CFL. I just asked Wade Miller about it. He feels like it's a great thing. Teams are spending money and having players go out and do marketing and be potentially out more in the community, even more than they are, but they're already out there a lot. How do you view the marketing money aspect of it, considering it may have brought Nathan Work back more quickly from the NFL, Matthew Betts came back perhaps more quickly from the NFL than waiting for an opportunity down there they get back into the CFL?
Yeah, I remember I think it was actually in this room 7+ years ago when I first started the job as commissioner. And I remember people that were in this room right now, and they wanted to know what was the CFL going to do to better market its league. And people in this room and Rider Nation are passionate about the future of the league and the growth of it. And I agree with Wade. I think that the money the teams are spending to get our players into the community, getting them involved with, especially with young people and new potential audiences, it's so critical, and it's working. Look, here's the thing. Look at what's happening with our TV ratings. They're growing in a world where TV ratings across the board seem to be contracting. Ours are growing. We competed this year against Copa, Euro, and the Olympics. We held our own, and then
the Oilers going to the final.
And the Oilers going to the final, and then the 2 weeks after the Olympics, our ratings shot up again. We're seeing our social media numbers are off the charts. We're seeing our downloads of videos off the charts. So all of this thing and again, I say this with the greatest of spirit and positivity. This is what all of you asked for. You wanted the league to do a better job of marketing itself, and it is. And I think it's something we should be proud of. And the other thing I should say, pound for pound, there are no athletes in the world of sports that do more in the communities than our players do. And it's something we can all be remarkably, and you know this firsthand.
For sure.
We should be incredibly proud of the time and energy our players devote to the community, speaking to kids and youth groups. And here's the one difference. Our guys don't have a limousine waiting to whisk them away to a nightclub. Our guys get themselves to an event. They stay until every autograph is signed.
Darian Durant walked to the stadium today.
I think it's evidence of just the quality of the players and the quality of the people we have in our league, and it's something I'm very, very proud of.
You mentioned the television ratings, and I think it's worth noting. Last week in Week 12, the CFL had its highest-rated week, non-Labor Day, since 2019. We're talking about television ratings from an English perspective that almost touched 600,000 on average. When you add in RDS, and their numbers have been huge this year, you get over 660,000 average viewers last week for CFL games. We know that this game right here, right now, the Labor Day Classic, is usually the highest rated game of the year. Last year, it was 975,000 average English viewers on TSN. So to your point about the marketing money, it is working. And there's another side to it, too, that when you talk to players and agents, they're now talking about football money and marketing money.
Yeah.
Because to get the marketing money, you have to go out there and earn it. So some players prefer to get paid football money, which obviously goes on the salary cap or the SMS. But to get that marketing money, you have to go earn it, right? So if the teams want to spend it, I don't see a problem with it. Doesn't sound like you do or Wade Miller either.
No, and look, I think we can be very proud of what Amar Doman has done in BC. Look, it wasn't that long ago. And I'm looking at this very informed and educated group of fans in front of us. And we know that one of the questions I'd be asked in every fan session is, what are you going to do to fix your major markets? Well, now BC's averaging 30,000 fans a game. Yesterday, it was the hottest place to be in all of British Columbia, was to be in Victoria at Royal Athletic Park. With the investment that Amar made in bringing in some some acts to spice up the game, they are investing in their businesses, and the marketing money is just another part of that. Invest in your business, get your players out, get them in the communities. It is working, and it's one of the reasons why there's so much excitement around the trajectory of the league now. Like, we are now seeing that flywheel starting to turn in a very positive way.
Are we going to see touchdown Saskatoon, touchdown Prairies, touchdown Northern Canada, touchdown Windsor, touchdown Quebec City? I'm throwing a lot at you there.
Yeah.
But what's the next evolution, touchdown Atlantic to touchdown Pacific, from your view?
Well, we have already had several cities reach out to us and ask about the possibility of their city hosting a touchdown game. That's exciting. We're going to start the scheduling process, in the next week or two. We'll start talking about, what are we going to do with touchdown. Touchdown, in my view, is going to be, it's an important part of our assets that we have available to grow our business, to get into new markets, to welcome new fans. And so all of those markets you talked about, we want to talk about them. Where exactly we'll be in 2025, I don't know, but we'll be somewhere.
Now, we're talking about the marketing money. Is there a situation we've got fans, obviously, if you're a rival fan, you see a team sign a player, they're getting marketing money. How are we kind of controlling or putting guardrails around? Are these guys actually going out and earning that money?
Yeah, so there is a very, very intense audit process that goes into every dollar that's spent in the marketing money category. They look at what type of event was it, how much did the player get paid, how much time did they spend, what's the fair market value for an event like that. So I can assure all of you, this is not just a blank check where teams can pay the players whatever they want. It's done under very intense scrutiny, and I think it's actually very well done. There's always something to learn. Look, one of the things we've got now, another topic for that's fascinating. It was only a couple years ago that one of the things we would have in a room like this was a concern about our quarterbacking. Like, was it 3 years ago that would have been a major? Today, we've got this phenomenal group of quarterbacks that are just shooting the lights out. And these are our game's biggest stars, and we want to get those players in the market, because they are the ones that have such an opportunity to attract the next generation of fans. So, look, I think to your question, we monitor it carefully. There's a very careful audit done. There's always going to be more work to do to make sure we're doing it right, but I can assure all of you that there's a lot of tension and a lot of rigor that goes around making sure that it's done properly.
You used a couple words there, intense scrutiny. There's been a couple of cases, I guess we'll call them, that have deserved that from the CFL. I thought what you did with Chad Kelly was very well done. And so people are wondering, what is part of that last chance agreement that he has to adhere to stay in the league, and how did that come to be? Can you shed some transparency or light on that?
Well, it can't. As you know, the actual last chance agreement is subject to a confidentiality provision, and I won't violate that, but I can tell you how it came about. To his credit, when we met with him on the Friday, I think it's like 3 weeks ago, he started that meeting with an apology. And I found it to be very, very sincere, and we were together for quite a long time. And at the end of, before we were wrapping up, he said to me, Commissioner, I'm making you a promise. I'm making you a promise that I've learned my lesson and it'll never happen again. And I said to him, well, then I'm going to hold you to that. If that's a promise made, then that has to be a promise kept. And fundamentally, that's what the last chance agreement does. It says you made us a promise. Now be good to your word. So, I can't say anything else, but I think it is ultimately about that very principle of being a person of your word and making a commitment to learning from the experience and doing better going forward.
If he doesn't convert on that promise, let's say, or doesn't adhere to any of the stipulations of the last chance agreement, is it literally last strike and he would be out of the CFL?
Well, again, look, I think the phrase last chance feels kind of fairly obvious, right? And again, I can't get into the specific details of it, but what I can tell you is, our expectations are that he is going to honor his commitments, and we're going to hold him accountable to honoring those commitments.
The other more recent case, I guess we'll call it, is you just got out of arbitration with Sean Lemon, and the arbitrator ruled in the league's favor, upheld your indefinite suspension. What does indefinite mean? Will Sean Lemon ever play in the league again, in your view? Does he have to serve an entire year like some of the NFL players that were caught? Where do you come out on that?
Yeah, in the arbitration process, one of the questions the arbitrator asked me specifically was he wanted to understand what indefinite meant. So as I explained to him, you're looking at a continuum of options from permanent suspension at one end of the continuum to a specific penalty. So 1 game, 5 games, whatever that would be. And somewhere on that continuum is this word indefinite. And what it gives us is an opportunity to see whether or not a player demonstrates sincere contrition. Hey, I see the error of my ways. I understand I made a mistake. I've learned from it. I never should have done it. And ultimately, what I would say in this case is this is the Labor Day weekend. We've had a sellout in Victoria. We're going to have the largest crowd ever at Mosaic today for the Bombers and Riders.
You're stealing my thunder.
Hold on. We're going to see a massive crowd in Calgary tomorrow for a game between Calgary and Edmonton. And then we're going to go to a sold-out Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. That's what the story is about. And everything else as it relates to Sean Lemon, we'll deal with it somewhere down the road. We're not dealing with it now. And I was asked, I said, that's for another day. Today, it's about being here in this beautiful city in front of all of you playing world-class football.
It's about football. It's about community. Can we get you to go on the record? Is this the best rivalry in the CFL, Riders Bombers?
This is one of the best rivalries in all of this. No, listen, okay. Look, this is an interesting thing about yesterday being in Victoria with Amar Doman. One of the first things Amar talked about is he said he wanted to be part of Labor Day. Like he didn't want the Lions to be excluded from the Labor Day weekend. And what you all know is that most typically the fourth game of the weekend has never really seemed to count as part of the Labor Day Classic community of games.
Let's pull him in there.
I think we got to pull him in. And Amar wants to be in. And then what they did yesterday was special, and it created an atmosphere like we're going to see today. And that's great for the CFL and something very special. So, this is what you have here on this day against Winnipeg is very, very special. And the fact that you've all come, as you always do, you show up to cheer on your team. I think today's going to be, I think this will be one of the greatest Labor Day weekends of all time, by the way. And you should be proud because you're a huge part of it.
We've kept you over time. Thanks for coming on, Randy.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.